Hello everyone and welcome to SUTV Live, where we're going to be bringing you all the build-up to this afternoon's game as Sheffield United travel to the John Smith Stadium to take on Huddersfield Town. The next 60 minutes or so is free to view for all Blades fans, and we'll be including highlights from Wednesday night's victory over West Bromwich Albion. Stuart McCall will tell us what he thinks we need to do to take another 3 points as we look to ensure that we're in the mix for promotion back to the Premier League at the first time of asking. And we'll have an SUTV live exclusive when we hear from our record-breaking striker, that is, of course, Billy Sharp. To buy your match day pass to watch today's game, you will need to go to sufc.co.uk, where you will also find all the broadcasting regulations relating to today's match. Well, hello and welcome once again. We're coming to you live from our studio here at Bramall Lane, and as ever, I'm joined by two guests here in the studio. And first of all, a name who'll be very familiar to you as a commentator and an ever-present guest this season, Kevin Gage. And Kevin, just hoping for more of the same this afternoon. Oh, absolutely, yeah. It was set up beautifully for this afternoon after that brilliant result against West Brom. So yeah, bring it on. There's a buzz, isn't there? The whole team, the whole squad seem to be on fire at the moment. Yeah, results bring confidence, don't they? And we've certainly got a lot of it at the moment after the recent run of form. And it just the whole club is up for it, isn't it? You talk to the fans around the ground, you know, just in your social life and your family and friends. It's brilliant to see. We're on a real roll at the moment. And delighted to be able to welcome here to the studio for the first time Derek Geary, former Sheffield United player, of course, and a Sheffield Wednesday player, one of the few who've played for both clubs, and one of three who Neil Warnock had playing for Sheffield Wednesday players who came here to Sheffield United.
Yeah, obviously I came from Sheffield Wednesday, I think in 2004. Spent many years here, and obviously came over across with Alan and Lee Bromby at the time, and had some great years, and I've been fortunate enough, John, to be part of the club ever since, and I'm proud to be here. Thanks for having me. And
loving it, and doing such an important job now, working with the academy for the last 5 or 6 years, and obviously reaping rewards.
Yeah, it's not something that I planned from my playing career of getting into coaching, but once I finished, at the time Kevin McCabe gave me the opportunity to come in and coach, and I just built my way up, and I really enjoy it. Really love being around the place, love being at the academy, and as you said, it's in a real good place at the minute, not just with the senior team doing well, but we've got real young players coming through that really have a good chance, so the whole place is in a good place.
Well, we'll talk in more depth about that a little bit later on, and thanks again for joining us here. And we'll be looking in detail as well, of course, at that terrific victory, 2-0, a really important win against West Brom on Wednesday night. And Kevin, as I said earlier, it's the trip to Huddersfield today. They're up there in the playoff zones. They're not there by accident. It's not going to be easy today. Absolutely not. No, I mean, they're a surprise team, to be honest. No one really fancied them at the start of the season. Yeah, they're on an unbeaten run of 13 games now, I think. So they've kind of crept up unnoticed. And they're not a team of superstars. They haven't got any really outstanding players, but they seem to get the job done most weeks and picking up points. Conditions not going to be easy today, is it? I mean, the wind here at Bramall Lane, it's howling around, and just the same up at Huddersfield, I think, boys. It's not going to be easy. Yeah, it's going to be difficult conditions, obviously, both sides, but it's going to be perhaps more of a battle. It's a local derby as well, of course, so that always brings a little bit of an edge to the game. But I mean, you don't get anything for nothing in this league. You have to work hard for it, and you have to fight for it. So I'm sure that we'll be equipped for whatever they throw at us. Important thing as the team develops, I mean, they're putting together this terrific run of performances under Paul Heckingbottom. They're finding a way to win now. They're closing out matches.
Yeah, I think it's important, especially like Kevin said, in a league like this where you're playing more or less Saturday, Tuesday. There's going to be games where it's not going to be you're the best team and you'll run all over teams. I think you got to grind games out. You got to sometimes win the last minute. Like I was here the other night against West Brom. I thought first 20 minutes West Brom probably did well, but us playing like what a Sheffield United team does play. They grow into the game, got the crowd behind them, and got the result in the end, obviously with Billy scoring too. So certain games and different games are different, and I think today will be different, like you said. Huddersfield are in a good run.
I was sitting here as a fan on Wednesday evening, doing a bit of shouting and swearing and screaming United home, and the atmosphere really built as the match progressed. Kevin, just tell us how important it is to players out there to have that support.
It's absolutely huge. Del will tell you exactly the same. All the players will say exactly the same thing, especially at home. You know, we're very, very good at home, and when we get the crowd behind us and we pour men forward. I have to say, I think that one of the turning points was the tackle by Robinson down on the touchline here that it certainly riled Steve Bruce and the West Brom bench, but it seemed to raise our game, and it seemed to like set the tone for the whole evening. And then Livermore got himself sent off, and I think he was wound up because of the Robinson tackle as well. So I think things like that, you know, lift the crowd, and then the crowd lift the players, and it's a self-perpetuating kind of motion thing. And yeah, we usually come out on top.
Huddersfield's recent form, 3 wins and 2 draws, including a 0-0 on Tuesday night, wasn't it, against Preston? So that's showing that they're coming into this, as you say, with that long undefeated run and going well. As far as Sheffield United's concerned, 4 wins out of the last 5 now, including that draw. So the two teams very much informed, Derek.
Yeah, it's like you said. I think since Ecky's come in, we've gone on a good run. We've won a lot of games and we're in a really good place. Huddersfield, obviously Lee Bromby, who I played with here, he's up there working there, and he said they've got a good strong work ethic, like Kev said. Not many household names there, but they've got a real team ethic, and they've gone unnoticed up the league, and they're in a good place in the playoff position. So it's going to be a tough game for us today, and hopefully that if we do get a win, it will be a massive win.
Let's just have a look at the league table and see where everybody is sitting right now. And because there's been the interruptions because of coronavirus and games being postponed, it's still got that sort of skewed look to it. United there with games in hand. Look at that, 3 games in hand on some of those teams above them. So it's kind of, I know you're not ruling out the possibility even of them getting up into the top 2.
Well, why not? No, because I'm not saying we're going to replicate all the results we've had in the last 12 games or so, but I see no reason why we're going to suddenly crack up. You know, I don't think we're going to hit a bad run of form where we're going to lose 4 on the trot or anything like that, because the team's set up and the team's just too good. The players have got too much quality, and they're obviously up for the job, and we've got a good manager and a good management team behind him, and we've got 30,000 fans behind us. So, you know, we may lose the odd game here and there, but I don't see us going on a bad run. So I see us winning, you know, far more games than we lose in this next 18, 19 games, however many it is, and I think we'll be right up there. And it only needs one of them top 2 to slip a bit. We've seen West Brom have slid away from the top in recent weeks. We've seen Bournemouth have a few iffy results.
Boreham Wood.
Blackburn were up there and they've slipped back, you know. So it literally is all to play for. And of course, all the games we have in hand are at home, which has to be recognised. That's a huge advantage, especially for a club as big as Sheffield United.
Question for both of you here. You know, you see United have put this run together now. What do you see as being the biggest things which have changed? I mean, why now are United going into it with a different mindset, seeming as though they really believe they can win every game?
I think, personally, from obviously being around the training ground and around the academy, obviously the previous manager come in, he had a different way of thinking about things. I think his DNA probably did not match the culture of this football club, in my opinion, and I think obviously since Ecky's gone in, he's recognised, he knows what Sheffield United is about. He got Stuart McCall there, Jack Lester, the Sheffield United people. And it's just a matter of, like Kev said, this is a good squad. It's a really good squad. Just knitting them together and catching a bit of momentum. I spoke to John Egan the other day and he just said, we're just on a momentum here. We're on take every game as it comes, just go in and get that run. And like Kev said, I agree 100%. I think we'll go up the table now. We're going to have hiccups along the way, but there will be victories.
What do you think, Kev? I mean, the crowd here, you mentioned earlier on about how important they are, but they really like to see a big work ethos. They like to see people getting stuck in and playing on the front foot, if you like.
Absolutely, I think it's ingrained in Sheffield United teams, you know, and going back in generations. In my era, Dave Bassett says everything, you know. Then we had the Neil Warnock, and then we've got that down here. We had it with Chris Wilder. All our periods of success have been when we've played like that, you know, and it gets everybody on side. It gets the crowd going. Yeah, and we're going to be agreeing with each other all afternoon because I totally understand completely what Del's saying there, and I totally agree with the Slovenic. The previous manager, Slav. I think the communication wasn't there and he didn't really connect with the fans. Having said all that, qualifying it by saying our performances under him, our results weren't very good, but our performances were okay. You know, some of the metrics, some of the shots we were getting in, and that we weren't letting too many chances at the other end, and we weren't just getting the results that we actually deserved. It's now turned round, of course, and we've increased our level of play and we're getting the results that our players deserved. People say
it's you know, you need luck in football, but you also need to work to get that luck, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. I think me personally as a player, the harder you work, the more luck you get. And I think as this team, I think I've seen a real tempo change in the training, because I see it quite a lot. The intensity's got higher. Under Slav was a bit more calmer, a bit more play. But as I said previously, no disrespect, but this club's built on Bassett, Warnock and Wilder, and the DNA is get on the front foot, get around, play at a high intensity, and like you said, with that work ethic, you earn your own luck.
Right, it's coming up now towards team time, and the Sheffield United team is through. This is how they're going to be lining up this afternoon, and I think that works out as 4 changes, doesn't it, from the West Brom match. In comes John Fleck, Sander Berge, Ollie McBurney and Morgan Gibbs-White.
Yes, it's all changed, isn't it? It would have been easy to stick with the same side, but I think what the manager's doing is it's got to be very careful with the rotation of players and resting players, and obviously there's a lot of games coming up, so we're going to have to utilise everybody in their squad.
So Ollie Norwood on the bench, Conor Harahan, Iliman Ndiaye, McGoldrick injured, of course, and he's going to be out for some time now. But it is a big change lineup. I mean, you've got to manage the squad, Derek, and manage expectations as well. But to what extent is this a gamble going out there and completely changing that midfield?
Well, that'll be judged on the result, really, John. I think like Kev says, especially this month, they're playing Saturday, Tuesday. It's going to be it's got a tough run of fixtures coming up, and I think with the squad that we've got and the strength of the squad, I think he's just utilising it and getting a bit of fresh faces there. But as you said, because the team's in such a good run of form, some managers will just keep playing the same team, obviously, until something goes wrong. But Eki's stuck to his guns and he's one that freshens it up and keep things going. But you've seen the players that have come in. There's real good players coming in there. It's not exactly, I don't think, weakening the side.
But Kevin, Ollie Norwood, particularly on Wednesday night, had a key role in orchestrating the midfield. It puts a bit of pressure on John Fleck and Sander Berge to find a way to replicate that.
Yes, they're different type of players. I would totally agree. Yeah, we have to utilise the squad, and they have to be given a chance at some stage. If I'm brutally honest, I would have left Norwood in. You know, we'll see what happens. But because he's the playmaker, he's the one that does make us tick. I think we've probably picked a team with one eye on Tuesday as well, because we've got a huge game on Tuesday. And let's be honest, we're looking to win all of our home games. You know, if we get anything away, great. But I think it's really, really important that we win, you know, a large majority of our home games in the run-in. So maybe he's got one eye on Tuesday. The McBurney, playing McBurney is a no-brainer, I think, today.
Well,
you know?
Ollie McBurney, Derek, he suddenly becomes a key figure, doesn't he, with Rhian Brewster out and now with David McGoldrick out. You know, Ollie McBurney, I'm sure there's been times he's been sort of thinking, well, you know, come on, give me a chance, give me a run, let me show what I can do. Now he's going to get a run and he's got to show what he can do.
100%. I think obviously because I've been in the academy, like I keep saying, I've watched him train the last few weeks and he's done really well. You can tell he's back to his old self. He's strong, he's aggressive, and I think getting back to that as well is you're keeping these players happy. You're keeping them as though they feel part of things. And when you utilise the squad, it does keep players more involved, and every week more and more they come together. But Ollie McBurney, it's not really, you're not replacing him. He's not weak when you're putting him in the team. I think it's a strength as well, and he will play a Pacific way for him.
Key man, do you reckon, Ollie, in the weeks coming? One
of our key men, yeah, definitely. As you rightly say, he's got an opportunity with McGoldrick coming out, although it's not like for like, is it? He's a different type of player. But yeah, McBurney's he's been ill, hasn't he? I think he's been ill and he's had a few injury issues. So yeah, I read McCall's been very, very complimentary about his training and about him as a lad and as a person. So yeah, he needs to kick-start his season as well, because he's done absolutely nothing this season. So he doesn't want it to be a wasted season, and he's got the opportunity now with another in the running, maybe 20 games with playoffs, to really put a mark on this season and do something, really productive for us.
Well, he was one of the players who arrived in Huddersfield, of course, a few minutes ago, and as ever, we managed to get our little taste of the action and talk about what's coming up, and I had a word with John Egan. Well, John, looking forward to today's game, and on a run, everybody must be feeling absolutely buzzing and full of confidence.
Yeah, we're in a good place. We're playing good football, getting good results, and we're taking it game by game. So hopefully we can go out there today and do the business.
And obviously it's an important one with Huddersfield being up there in the playoff places, and a win today, it really does make United in a very good place.
Yeah, they're a good side. They're in the position they are for a reason, and it's going to be a really tough game. We just focus on the task in hand and, focus on ourselves, trying to play like we can, and hopefully we can get the 3 points.
Not going to be easy today, though, is it? I mean, it's blowing a bit of a gale, I gather.
Yeah, but it's the same for both teams. It's going to be a tough game. Obviously they're a good side. They've been doing well all season, and we're coming on the back of a good few results, trying to keep our momentum going. So hopefully we can get the 3 points. United
had been under the radar, but it seems that all of a sudden everybody's talking in real bold terms about United's promotion chances.
Still a lot of football to be played. We're never ones for looking too far down the line. A lot of us are kind of, been through it before, and the only way you can kind of be successful is to take it game by game. You have to give 100% every time you go into the pitch, and we're fully focused on today's game, trying to get the right result.
Manager's made a few changes, but the team really raring to go.
Yeah, we've got a quality squad. We've got really good players. Everywhere in the squad, really multiple players for every position, and it's good to have that, especially when we've got so many games coming thick and fast now. Everybody's going to be needed, and I'm sure everybody's going to be up to it when given the chance, and trying to keep winning games and keep picking up points.
John, enjoy the game. I'm sure there's going to be great support from the travelling fans, and try and bring back those 3 points, eh?
We'll try our best. Top man, take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks to John Egan. Let's hope that they can bring back those 3 points and continue this terrific run of form. 4 straight victories here at Bramall Lane now, including that 2-0 win against West Bromwich Albion on Wednesday night. And these were the highlights.
Goldrick lays it off for Basham. Still with Basham. Basham slightly off balance. Crashes it high and wide. Howrahan fires one into McGoldrick. Lovely play. Here's George Baldock. Squares it for Sharp. Billy Sharp takes a deflection. It's there! Billy Sharp for United. The Blades take the lead, and it's that man, Billy Sharp. He just can't stop scoring at the moment. And Sharp might be in here. Billy Sharp looking for his second, and he smashes it straight at Sam Johnston. What a chance for United to make it 2-0. Howrahan, chance to put it in the box. It's a teasing ball in, and there he is again. But the flag denies Billy Sharp a second goal. Robinson, nice touch. Howrahan, also a nice touch. Then he's closed down and smashed there by Livermore. Well, there you go. Red card. Again, something off the training ground. Again, it's nowhere from distance. Billy Sharp at the byline, lifts it in towards Bogle. Bogle, blocked by Ajayi. I think it was going wide. Now Robinson takes aim. And then Ajayi, another great block. Bogle. Ajayi makes the run. Here's Iliman Ajayi. Jayden Bogle, smart save. Bogle might be in here. Sharp with the control. McGoldrick's continued his run, and Iliman Ajayi wants to hear Ajayi. Through on goal, Iliman Ajayi. Lovely football. Gibbs White's into the area. Sharp with a strike. Billy Sharp again. In front of the Kop. His 12th goal of the campaign. That's that crucial second goal United have craved. They've put themselves in a great position. They lead by 2-0. There's the full-time whistle.
I think I could watch that Billy Sharp goal forever, and it capped what was really a very good professional performance after they were under the cosh for the first 20 minutes, but came home and put it together and did so really well.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there when you used the word professional, because we came through that game, and that was a very, very good West Brom team, don't forget. We also overcame the dreaded new manager bounce that Steve Bruce would have given, because how many times does a new manager come in and they get a result very next game? It happens all the time. So that was a really big 3 points for us to win, and the way we did it as well. Obviously helped by the sending off, but it was just a good, solid, all-round team performance. And the way we saw the game out as well, having had the man advantage in the second half, you know, they never really looked like getting back into that game.
No, they didn't. It was, and they'd started so well, West Brom. Yeah. But and you know, the first 20 minutes, you thought, uh-oh, what's happening here? Yeah,
I was here obviously watching the game myself. I thought the first 20 minutes, if we could just ride the storm a bit and just obviously not concede, I think. Once you grow into the game, and like we keep talking, getting the crowd behind us and backing us, I think that we're always going to grow into the game with the quality of player we got, and I think it was a well-deserved victory in the end. It was a well-deserved victory, and after the match, of course, we got the post-match thoughts of manager Paul Heckingbottom.
Well, Paul, many congratulations on the victory, and a statement victory tonight against West Brom. Would you agree?
Yeah, because I see him, and I think most others do, as one of the top teams in the league with one of the strongest squads. Yeah, so in that respect it is, and we knew it'd be difficult. I know Steve really well and how much success he's had in this league, so we knew it was going to be extremely tough, and they didn't disappoint us with that, you know, made it really difficult for us. I'm pleased with how brave we were in trying to keep playing the ball and play through that press, because at times they nicked the ball from us in our half, but we had to be brave, and when we did get through, we obviously scored a fantastic goal with some good patient passing and then quality into the front players. And then the other side of it, which was pleasing, was how we dealt with their threat in terms of putting the ball in our box. It probably came more significant when they had 10 men and they played more for throw-ins and set plays, because then you can't stop them putting the ball in. So we had to stand strong, and we did. And although they had more shots than I would have liked, they were all from outside the box. So from that respect, we can't be too critical.
Yeah, because I suppose in the forensic detail, on the defensive side of things, Fodringham's not really had a great deal to do today, because what was in front of him protected the edge of the 18-yard box so well.
Yeah, so everything came from outside the box with only a couple getting through on target. So, yeah, that's pleasing. Something we've worked on in defending the box, because it's really important. Yeah, and like I said, West Brom made it difficult for us then when we had the ball, and we had to be patient. But we scored two really good goals. Like, the quality of the goals were top class. So yeah, I'm not going to be critical. We want to keep playing. We want to keep opening teams up, and it's not always easy. And we know that, and we'll probably find that at Bramall Lane as we've gone through the season.
That's the thoughts of the manager. The players, of course, were absolutely delighted. And George Baldock, for one, thought that United and the players had made a bit of a statement.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, since the manager's come in, I think you can see our old identities slowly coming back in, especially in the last few weeks. And yeah, it's just a pleasure to play under. And I think now we're starting to show the real Sheffield United, which is good.
Did you, as a group of players, feel that kind of sense of anticipation about this match in the build-up to, you know, West Brom are obviously sixth, they're doing all right, Steve Bruce coming back, and a side to shoot at, so to speak, when you're chasing in the chasing pack?
Yeah, definitely. Our attentions turned to West Brom very quickly, but only when we got the job done at Birmingham. You know, it was never oh, you know, Birmingham will be a walk in the park, then we've got the big game. I think, you know, all the lads had their heads screwed on as soon as recovery day was finished the next day. And then it was just quickly onto West Brom. And, you know, we know in this division, no matter who we play, if we're at it, like we have been recently, we can beat anyone. So, yeah, it's really pleasing and, yeah, positive signs.
And for you, playing out on the left-hand side, have you done that before? I mean, you haven't done it here much, have you? So when you got the call, what did that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I think I've played there a few times at previous clubs, you know, just to fill in during games. But, you know, everyone who knows me knows how much I love playing for this football club. You know, I was unlucky with an illness, which set me back quite a lot. And then I came back, got an injury, probably due to the illness. And then, you know, fair play to Jayden Bogle. He's come in and been absolutely fantastic. And it's football. You know, I had to do that when I first came to the club with Kieran Freeman. And, you know, it's what breeds a successful football club when you've got competition and really, really, really good players at this level. And he's taken his chance, so I've had to be patient. You know, the staff here make it so easy for you when you're not playing because they spend so much of their attention on you. And yeah, I mean, I cramped up a little bit towards the end, but delighted to get there to the 90 minutes and play a vital part in getting a good result.
That's George Baldock. And Kevin, when you saw the team news on Wednesday night, I think you're sort of thinking, well, what's going on here? What's George Baldock going to be doing? How's he going to play where he's been put? But in the end, he did pretty well.
He did superbly well, yeah. I was a little surprised to see his name on the team sheet, obviously with Bogle in as well. But I think I can't really improve on what he said there because he said all the right things there, and that's true professionalism. And he's been unfortunate to lose his place to Bogle because George Baldock over many seasons has done absolutely nothing wrong, and he's been one of our most consistent performers. So Bogle's come in and deservedly kept his place, but leaving Baldock on the sidelines. Now, it was very interesting to see how well he performed at left back because we've got two right backs here. We've both played left back in our careers, I'm sure we have. I've done left wing back role. And it's all about positioning. And if you've got the ability and the desire and the enthusiasm to keep getting up and down that wing, then there's no reason why you couldn't make that spot his own. He's only going to struggle maybe, you know, crossing the ball with his left foot or clipping the ball down the line with his left foot. But it's a position you can just get away with. You can adapt if you're good enough.
Derek, I make no apologies about wanting to take a look and just analyse and enjoy again that second goal. Goodness knows how many passes were put together, something like 20 odd, and all finishing quite superbly.
Yeah, it's really good. Jack and Mekki, when they were down in the academy, done a lot of work on probing and penetration and being patient in the final third. And you can see the movement here, obviously. Players just movement, passing it, scanning, just getting into space. It's just really good. And obviously Ollie McBurney just come on, but no.
It's like watching Man City, isn't it? You could easily put light blue shirts on these players and call them Man City or Barcelona. It really is that good.
And now we're coming up towards the decisive moment. Talk us through it, Kevin.
Well, it's the patience, isn't it? They're just waiting for an opportunity, and then when it comes out wide, is it to Bogle on this right-hand side? Plays the ball inside and follows his ball as well. Here it comes here, I think. Wonderful.
And Bosch.
And there's the man you need right at the end of it. Couldn't have fallen for anybody better, could it?
Yeah, lovely to see, and great confidence from Billy Sharp. Yet another goal in what's turning out now to be quite a season. And he'll be in the lineup again this afternoon, alongside Ollie McBurney, who's he's become a key player, a key part of all this now.
Well, he's a perfect man to come on as sub, isn't he? He takes the pressure off. He's got a bit of physicality up there as well.
Strong enough to lift up Billy Sharp.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But I think we've learned a big lesson from that Preston game, which we were all so disappointed to lose that 2-goal lead with a man over. And it's happened a few times now, hasn't it, with players getting sent off, and we've looked very, very secure, you know, going into the last phases of games, and we haven't done anything silly. We're not playing any silly crosses or silly high balls forward. We're just keeping the ball and keeping possession, and as Derek's just said there, you know, probing, and they've done a lot of work on retaining the ball and their movement and not giving it away cheaply.
Yeah, that is something which has been really important, not giving it away and actually maintaining shape and keeping on top of things when under real pressure. Yeah,
it goes all around the team, doesn't it? I think it comes from confidence as well, having confidence on the ball, and the results have helped, you know. So you're not looking to panic when you get the ball. You'll always have a teammate to find, and people are moving into position to receive the ball. It just all rolls into you know, momentum.
It's one of your favourite phrases, isn't it? Game management as well.
Yeah,
you know, when you get into the position where you can look at 3 points, close it out.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, easier when you're a man up, obviously.
Sure. Now, what are we now? About half an hour or so away from the match this afternoon, Huddersfield against Sheffield United, and we'll be bringing you coverage of that one, of course. But now let's just change tack a little bit, not least because Derek Geary is sitting right here alongside me. And let's take a look at a goal, quite a screamer, from back in 2004, Sheffield United against Millwall. What about that, Derek?
I think, yeah, it was a bit of a crazy game. I know it's well documented on O'Neill, the manager at the time, had a documentary out, so that game was the main focal point of the game. I think we had sending offs that day, missed chances. Jagielka went in goal. I think anything that shouldn't happen happened. So
Paddy got sent off.
Paddy got sent off. We had to do with Kevin Muscat at the time. So as I said, anything that shouldn't happen happened. So I thought I might as well have a shot here because the chances are I'll score.
Still nice to watch it again though, all these years later, isn't it?
Yeah. I wish I could say that was my natural technique, but it was a bit much of a hit and hope, to be honest.
It was a hit and hope though, which gave us a very, very memorable goal. Well, things have moved on, of course, and you work with the academy now. You're seeing some terrific results. There's been a great display and run of consistency from your under-18s, and that's been rewarded with you being made manager now and head of the academy, and very well deserved. I mean, people must be delighted.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm delighted, obviously, myself moving up. I think the youth team have gone 22 league games without being beaten, but I think the most important thing is the culture of the club, and it's what Jack had, and he's come in, and what he created as the academy manager. I'm just following on from most of his good work, and hopefully that I can continue on with the work that he did. And it's the work ethic, not just of the staff but of the players as well. So as a collective, we're all in it together. Not
lost a game since March 2021. I mean, that speaks volumes, doesn't it?
I know, yeah. I think I do tell them off if they lose, so I think they do get their gears inside to get games winning. But yeah, they've done really well. But it's the quality of the player that we brought in, and as I said, with Jack leading it for the last few years, he's been brilliant, and hopefully, like I said, I can continue it on and get a good quality standard of player in.
Well, losses nil is lovely to see, and as well as that, there are opportunities which are coming out now, because the players in the under-18s are getting the opportunity to play in the under-23s as well, and getting big match experience, with so many of the players in that sort of age group being put out on loan.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of under-23 players out on loan, so we've got real quality coming through, John. We've got players that we can see playing for our first team, hopefully for a long time, and going on to having a really good career. So yeah, the pathway is there. And I don't think you'll disagree with me, say it's not always the case at certain clubs, and sometimes at certain points at clubs. So what we see now is a clear pathway where Eki's gone up, Jack's gone up. They know every player, they know who should come through, and hopefully we can get the product line continuing on for mostly Reece, Norrington Davis, Jebison and Illiman.
Well, you talk about product line and people actually going on and fulfilling expectations. Well, Daniel Jebison, one of those, been away on loan with Burton Albion, back here now though after the injury to Rhian Brewster, and now with David McGoldrick. He's on the bench today, and Daniel Jebison, just 18 years old, one of these guys who's got a real chance to make a statement now and make an impact. Well, we'll talk more with Kevin and Derek about him in a moment, but before then, let's just have a look at the Daniel Jebison story.
Daniel, born in Ontario, in Canada, so tell us about your upbringing over there.
Yeah, so I was born in Oakville. You know, I started playing football at a young age. It was my brothers playing first, my older brother, and then I gradually built up and then started playing for a team called A&B in Canada. But I was 5 years old, and I was too young to like play for them, but they really liked my ability at that age, so I started playing very early for them. I started playing up, and I was doing very well. Like all 3 of my brothers were doing very well, getting trials in England, you know. But I came here originally because my mom is from England and she moved here for work, and we just all moved here as a family. And then I started playing for Gresley Town, just a local team, you know, just 20-minute drive away from where I live. And my dad just came up to me, he's like, this is too easy for you, you know, like you need to move on. And so he just said, let's go get you into UK football trials. And I went there, you know, me and my brother impressed Sheffield United, and they said, you know, come on a trial. Unlucky for my brother, he didn't make it. I thought he should, to be honest. But I got lucky and I worked hard, and, you know, they finally said, we'll give you a contract and, you know, just work your way up from there, you know. But it wasn't easy getting into Sheffield at all. It wasn't easy, it was hard. They told me no, they told me yes, so it was hard. And then I had loads of trials, didn't get in, but I had to fight for my spot, you know, always have to fight.
He's been away on loan with Burton and scored some spectacular goals, Derek, and he's surely added to his game over the last month or 2.
Yeah, of course. I think there's great development, and it's important that he have the right loan as well, John. He's obviously gone to a club that Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank is the manager in, and he was a top
You're going to be learning from him, aren't you?
Of course, and I think it was one thing what Jack, I think he had a few clubs in for him, but it was one thing that Jack really wanted to go to. He wanted him to go to Bolton because he knew that Jimmy would be down there giving him an extra shooting session. And a top class striker like that as your manager, you can only learn from, especially if he played in your position.
What extent is he still a work in progress?
Massive. He came in as a very raw 16-year-old, as he's just said there, from UK trials. Physically, he's getting better, as you can see, but he's just turned 18 in August, so he's a young. He could be just a scholar. He's only just a pro, so he has got loads more to come. But as you can see, potentially, physically, he's got loads to improve on, and mentally, he works his absolute socks off, so he can only improve.
When you see him alongside some of the other players, I mean, he really is a big unit, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't quite like standing beside him, if I'm being honest. I think I only reach his knee. But, now, obviously, he was in the U team with me. I spent a lot of time with Jebbo. Unbelievable, great kid. And he, like he said, went to Sheffield United. We run a tough programme in the academy. He used to be in at 7:30 in the morning doing extra training. He used to say, he used to call me a crazy little Irishman, but hopefully he's feeling the benefits of it now.
I'm sure the crazy little Irishman's having an impact, Kevin, but it'll have done him a lot of good working alongside Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Surely,
absolutely, yeah. It's the way forward, as we touched on earlier, with the other under-23 players going out on loan to league clubs. It's definitely the way forward for clubs like Sheffield United. You know, there's no point having all these talented youngsters just playing games after game in the under-23s. They have to get out and get more experience. You know, in the tough. You know, League One, League Two, not even National League sometimes. It's definitely the way forward. And that's great to hear that Jefferson's so enthusiastic and wants to work so hard and wants to improve himself. I've got a good friend who's a season ticket holder at Burton, and he thinks he's absolutely fantastic. He's absolutely gutted that he's had to leave.
Yeah, I've got a mate down there as well who watches Burton, and he was exactly the same. I think the Burton crowd really latched onto him, thought he was something special.
And if any young player aspires to be when they go, his work rate and attitude is unbelievable. And I will say as well, I think Jack's going to owe me a few quid after this. The amount of coaching that Jack Lester gave him and the amount of detail that he gave him, and more importantly, the belief that he put into Jebbo as a kid is the reason why he's gone on to do as well as he's done. The importance of the coaching that he has got within the academy has been unbelievable, and he's done it himself, but he's had a lot of good support around him.
Well, if you enjoyed hearing the chat and watching those goals of Daniel Jefferson and hearing about his background, how he's come to the UK and how he's really trying to make a mark, you can hear and see more of that journey on the Sheffield United YouTube channel. That's going to be becoming available at some stage this week, so watch out for that one. and learn a bit more about a lad who may be on the way to becoming a real Sheffield United big name. Big man, big name, and he could have a big opportunity this afternoon because he may well wind up being on the pitch at some point. He's named as one of the substitutes this afternoon, so a big opportunity for Daniel Jebison, and let's hope that he can make the impact which Derek believes he's got in his makeup and that he is capable of actually producing. Well, now let's also look ahead to some of the matches coming up. Big run of games starting on Tuesday. Sheffield United against Hull City. Richard Graves being joined by Kevin and Chris Morgan, bringing you coverage of that one. Going to be on air from 7 o'clock in the evening, and the match is really coming thick and fast because next Saturday Richard again is in the chair, joined by Carla Saba and Kevin for the visit of Swansea City. Sheffield United, Swansea City, so moving very much in the right direction. Hopefully 3 points today, and you never know with those 2 home games as well, a chance to make serious movements up the Championship League over the next week or so. I must also bring you a little bit of a reminder of the winter sale at the Sheffield United retail shop. 50% off all kit and training wear, so get yourself down there and pick yourself up some real bargains. The winter sale is going to be for some time yet, and you can get down there and get some great gear. Well, we're now, what are we, 12 minutes past the hour, and so the match is coming closer. And these were the teams. First of all, the Huddersfield Town team, which we've just received. That's the lineup on a bit of a run. Kevin, who should we be looking out for?
Well, as I said earlier, they're not household names, any of them. They're a functional, solid team. They did have 2 flying wing backs, and Thomas and Toffolo, who's Harry Toffolo's on the bench, so that's good to see. Danny Ward scores the goals. I think he's top scorer. I think he's got 10 goals, something like that. Their playmaker is Lewis O'Brien in the midfield. He's been around a while. I think Leeds were trying to buy him at the start of the season, so he's obviously got good quality there. But I say this most weeks, there's nothing to be too scared of. It's, you know, if Sheffield United go there and match them and do a job on them, I think our quality will shine through, and I expect us to get something out of it.
What's your thoughts, Derek, when you see that Huddersfield lineup and sort of run the rule over it? Yeah,
I think like Kev said, it's not many household names there. I think obviously the few he's mentioned, and Jordan Rhodes is on the bench, which obviously Sheffield people know, but I think they're a hard-working team from what I know about them. They've done well, they've got results, and the manager's obviously come from Leeds, so he's got that Bielsa thing probably going on. But I think our squad, our team is better than this. Just if we turn up on the day and match them work rate, I think our quality will stand out. Well, let's take another look at the Sheffield United lineup, Kevin. And we know all about the quality that United are capable of producing. Ollie Norwood back on the bench, Conor Hourihan likewise, Iliman Ndiaye standing down from Wednesday night, and David McGoldrick injured, and so 4 changes in all for the Blades.
Yeah, it's a rotation exercise, isn't it? We've got a lot of games coming up, so as we said a few minutes earlier, we can't expect to play the same 11 week in, week out, or game in, game out. So we understand the changes. Whether they prove to be successful, we shall wait and see. Let's hope so. Another one we haven't quite mentioned is Morgan Gibbs-White, of course. He'd been out for a good few weeks. And if you go back to early in the season, he was our standout player. He was our top player most weeks. And he's got so much quality, and he came on and did a little cameo the other night to show us what we've been, I was going to say what we've been missing, but in all honesty, we haven't really missed him because the performances and results have been brilliant. But he has to add to our team. So to have him back, it's just a fantastic addition to our squad.
You know, one name who sometimes doesn't get mentioned a great deal in this United run of form has to be the goalkeeper, Wes Foderingham. What a good job he's been doing.
Yeah, he's been excellent. Obviously, he's kept a few clean sheets along the way. They've brought in a new goalkeeper, but can't seem to get him out of the team. He's been excellent. He's been faultless, not many mistakes, which is a sign of a good goalkeeper. And he's been a massive credit to how the defence has played as well.
And the crowd loving what he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. He's solid, isn't he? He doesn't seem to make too many bad errors. You know what you're going to get from him. His kicking's good as well. I like it. I like the way he's confident with his kicking, and he's happy accepting the ball from the centre halves. He's not skewing it out of play or slashing it into the crowd, which kind of builds confidence for the defence. You don't mind rolling the ball back because you know he's going to deliver it up front. So yeah, he hasn't had an awful lot to do because the defence have been solid, but what he has done, he's done more than competently.
Now, a build-up to a match really wouldn't be complete if we didn't give our usual little tribute to a man who's just having the most amazing season and produced another terrific performance on Wednesday night in that 2-0 win against West Bromwich Albion, and that, of course, is Billy Sharp, who took great pride in it for the team and, of course, personally.
Yeah, one of the big games, if you like. A team who was above us, and we had a chance to close the gap, which we did with a good performance, a clean sheet, and 2 goals as well, which luckily for me I was on the end and involved in them goals. So no, we're in good form at the minute. Still chasing down the pack above us, but we've put ourselves in the mix, so not to get too carried away, but we need to keep the form going, keep grinding out the results, and like the manager said, we've got most of our games at home, so it is in our hands, so we just need to keep grinding away as a group, keep pushing each other every day in training, and keep getting the 3 points for us to climb the table.
Just 1 point off the top 6, but still only in 10th position, just shows how close the championship is, really.
Yeah, it was a little bit disheartening when you come back in the change room and we were still 10th, or not really moved, but yeah, we've closed the gap, but not positionally, if you like, but that can all change tomorrow with a big 3 points in the Yorkshire derby, which is going to be very difficult against a team who are 13 unbeaten, so we know we're going to have to be at our best, but I'm confident we can go there and get the 3 points with the way that we're playing at the minute.
For you personally, 5 in your last 5, 7 in your last 10, you must be really enjoying your football at the moment.
Yeah, it's exactly what I'm doing. I'm enjoying it, getting in amongst the goals, which is my favourite thing about football. But the goals are coming in victories, which makes it a lot more important. And I felt as though I was contributing before. The goals weren't quite flowing, but yeah, I'm on a little run at the minute. I'm feeling good, so hopefully I can continue that tomorrow.
Yeah, you mentioned that because we had a chat at the start of the season and we talked about the assists, and you said you didn't want the assists, it's the goals that you wanted. That's key for you, isn't it, really? Yeah,
I've got 12 goals and 6 assists, so it's quite a nice balance. And like I say, the goals and the assists have been coming in victories or games that we've got picking up points in, so as long as that keeps happening, I'll be happy.
Huddersfield next. United have not been there since 2012, but your record there is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, I've scored a few goals there, so hopefully can do that again tomorrow. I've good memories last time playing for Leeds, this time scoring the winner in the 90th minute or something, but yeah, hopefully I can get one for United tomorrow.
And 2,000 plus Sheffield United fans behind that goal, that'll be a major boost for you.
Yeah, I believe that they helped us get through against Birmingham away, and we let them down a little bit at Preston away when we should have seen the points out, but we always travel really well with our fans, and it is important they stay vocal because, I think they know that they push us, but it gives us such a lift when we are down in a game or when we're ahead. We know that we can use them to our advantage.
That's Billy Sharp with his thoughts about his terrific performance on Wednesday and indeed as well about today's game. And the time now, we're about 10 minutes or so away from kick-off, and I ought to underline our match day pass information, which you can get by taking a look at sufc.co.uk. All the information you need for watching games with us here on SUFC TV Live, then you can get it online on that particular website, so please check it out. Now, Billy Sharp, what are we now? 5 goals in 5 games, Kevin. I mean, he really is showing himself at what, 35, going on 36? He is showing himself to be absolutely the model pro.
100%, yeah. We have this conversation every week, don't we? Because he produces every week, And I've been saying it's not just his goals. Of course, we need somebody to finish it off for us up front. But his all-round play. I mean, he makes light of the assists, but some of his assists have been absolutely superb. His little dinked crosses and his his clips to the far post and his set-up play has just been outstanding this year. And it's a tribute to his fitness and his dedication that he's still able to do it at 36 years old. And I mentioned this the other week, it's not as if he's like one of these wiry athletic types. He's a chunky lad, isn't he? So he probably has to work a little bit harder than most to maintain his fitness levels. Remarkable season, really. And I tell you what, there's goals left in him yet. Because if how many games we've got left? 19, 18 games, plus a couple of playoffs maybe. You know, you can see him getting another 10, 15 goals before the end of the season at this rate.
Derek, working with the academy, you know, I mean, you presumably get people to look at players older themselves and look at them as role models and people to aspire that move their career in that direction. I should imagine Billy Sharp from that position for you is a really important. It's really important.
It's brilliant. Obviously, I played with Billy as well here over the years, and I'm watching him play now, and he could always finish, he could always score goals, but his actual all-round play is probably the best I've ever seen him. Like Kev said, that he's quite a big lad, but he uses his body strength, how he plays, how he holds the line, his work rate. I've never seen him being so all-rounded, because he always, and I think that's helped him even score more goals. But like you said, John, if the young players, especially young strikers at the club, don't inspire or watch him or learn from him, they're missing out on something big.
People like Daniel Jebison, like Ryan Brewster. I mean, look at him, and he's got so much to offer, hasn't he? Not least, I mean, Kevin referred to him as chunky, but he's somebody who works at his fitness. He's strong, and he doesn't get injured.
Doesn't get injured, strong, he's dedicated, he's a professional, which is important for young players to know, and his longevity speaks for itself. And like say Jebbo, Ryan Brewster, even Ollie McBurney, these guys, if they don't learn from him, they'll go on to have a long, successful career. Even his movement within the box is it's as good as I've ever seen it. So he's actually probably playing better now than I've ever actually seen him, even though he's 26 years of age.
Kevin, I'm going to send you off to do your commentary duties shortly, but what about your prediction about what's going to happen this afternoon? Huddersfield 0, Sheffield United 6?
Billy Sharp 5 for those. I said the other night, I said similarly the other night, sorry for repeating myself, but it's not a must-win game for Sheffield United at this stage of the season, but it's a game I think we need to get something out of to keep the momentum going. So much as I'd love us to get 3 points, and I think we will win, I will settle for a point this afternoon.
You agree with that one?
Yeah, I think we win. I think 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we will see. Thank you very much for your thoughts now, Kevin. Enjoy hearing you when we get to match commentary. That's coming up, in about 7 minutes or so now. But time to hear what the coaching staff made of today's game, looking ahead. And today's press conference, or the press interview for this, looking ahead, was taken by Stuart McCall.
Listen, the away support's been fantastic. There's no doubt about that. It's been brilliant. The home fans, the home support's getting there. They're finding the voice, which is great. Because when I first came in, you know, I know it's been a bit quiet, but they're getting there now. And honestly, the fans can't appreciate how important they are. Especially when there's a bit of a lull in the game, you know. But the away fans have been outstanding. We look at it. I was at the Huddersfield game a couple of weeks ago against Derby, when Derby got a boy sent off after 2 or 3 minutes, and yeah, they did fine. Listen, Huddersfield won the game in the end, but the 13 games undefeated, I think they've got 3 clean sheets, so we know the task there. But we also we're always aware of opponents. We've got to do his analysis on that naturally. But the key is how we're going to approach it, what we're going to do, focus on ourselves. Know their strengths, respect them, but when we go out on that park, it's about one team for us, and it's about how we do it and what we do. And backed with the superb support we'll get on Saturday, can't come quick enough for us again.
In your analysis then, why are Huddersfield where they are? Last season, they just about stayed up, were in real bother towards the end of the season, and with by and large the same group of players, they're now up there.
They've got some good senior pros, and I think it'll come to how well coached they've been, you know. But it's a nice big park, you know, so we hopefully we can exploit certain areas. Likewise, they'll look at us and think they can exploit us. But no, I think you've got to say, as you said, because it's the same group of players, it's what must be happening on the training ground, you know, Monday to Friday, which must be doing it. And confidence and momentum keeps going. There's a long way to go, isn't there? So, you know, I'm sure they're saying the same, one game at a time. but it'll be tasty on Saturday, I'm sure of that.
Well, final words before the match now from Derek Geary, and a bit more about the work ethos. We'll go on to that, but also he underlines the fact that the impact and the effect that the crowd can have on the team, the travelling support, can really lift the players.
Oh, 100%, John. Obviously, it's only up the road, so I expect that a few thousand will travel up there today. And like Macca said at the start of the interview there, he said when he first came in, because the results weren't so great, it was quite quiet, but the place with the momentum of the team now, winning games of football, you can see the other night the crowd are getting a lift from it, and there's a big noise, so they'll be fully behind them today. And as Macca said in the interview there, if they approach the game in the right manner, there's a steely determination about not just this coaching staff at the minute, but the team. I fully expect us to go and get a good result today.
Got to match the commitment, match the fitness of an informed Huddersfield team.
Of course it is. You go away from home in especially in a Yorkshire derby, like Billy was saying in his interview, you have to quieten the crowd, you have to frustrate the home team, and with that you gain momentum and you gain belief, and then you gain confidence. And once you gain confidence, obviously with the quality that we've got in the team, I believe that we've got a better team than them, I believe that we've got a better squad than them, and if we can approach it in the right manner, I'm pretty sure that we'll get the right result, as I said.
So Mystic Derek, it's the win, is it?
Yeah, well, I hope I didn't curse us there with that, but yeah, 2-0.
Commentators curse. It's something we all tried to avoid, but let's hope that it can be as good again as it was on Wednesday night. That's what we're hoping for. And as the time ticks on now, past 12:27, less than 3 minutes away from kickoff, and time I think that we can join our commentators who are going to guide us through the action this afternoon. And that, of course, is Kevin Gage and, first of all, Matt Young.